Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. We are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 10th chapter. Krishna is returning from Hastinapur, is going to Dwarka. This is verse number 27. We are starting today. Aho patasva yashasas tiraskari. Tushastah punya yashaskari bhuvaha. Pashyanti nityam yadanugraheshitam. Smitavalokam swapatim smayat praja. Translation, who will read? Mataji, you can read.
Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing the soul of all living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles.
Purport also.
The heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and Vayu, and the pious souls reach there after performance of many virtuous acts on earth. Modern scientists agree that the timing arrangement in higher planetary systems is different from that of Earth. Thus, it is understood from the revealed scriptures that the duration of life there is 10,000 years by our calculation. 6 months on Earth is equal to 1 day on the heavenly planets. Facilities of enjoyment are also similarly enhanced, and the beauty of the inhabitants is legendary. Common men on the earth are very much fond of reaching the heavenly planets because they have heard that comforts of life are far greater there than on the earth. They are now trying to reach the moon by spacecraft. Considering all this, the heavenly planets are more celebrated than the earth. But the celebrity of earth has defeated that of the heavenly planets because of Dwarka, where Lord Sri Krishna reigned as the king. Three places, namely Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, are more important than the famous planets within the universe. These places are perpetually sanctified because whenever the Lord descends on earth, he displays his transcendental activities, particularly in these 3 places. They are perpetually the holy lands of the Lord, and the inhabitants still take advantage of the holy place, even though the Lord is now out of their sight. The Lord is the soul of all living beings, and he desires always to have all the living beings in their swarupa, in their constitutional position, to participate in transcendental life in his association. His attractive features and sweet smiles go deep into the heart of everyone. And once it is so done, the living being is admitted into the kingdom of God, from which no one returns. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The heavenly planets may be very famous for offering better facilities of material enjoyment. But as we learn from the Bhagavad Gita 9.20-21, one has to come back again to the earth planet as soon as the acquired virtue is finished. Dwarka is certainly more important than the heavenly planets because whoever has been favored with the smiling glance of the Lord shall never come back again to this rotten earth, which is certified by the Lord himself as a place of misery. Not only this earth, but also all the planets of the universes are places of misery, because in none of the planets within the universe is there eternal life, eternal bliss, and eternal knowledge. Any person engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is recommended to live in one of the above mentioned 3 places, namely Dwarka, Mathura, or Vrindavan. Because devotional service in these three places is magnified, those who go there to follow the principles in terms of instructions imparted in the revealed scriptures surely achieve the same result as obtained during the presence of Lord Sri Krishna. His abode and he himself are identical. And a pure devotee, under the guidance of another experienced devotee, can obtain all the results, even at present.
Yes. This is a long and beautiful purport. If you see in this purport, if you read carefully, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how material life is transitory, temporary. And compared to what? Compared to the eternal spiritual life in three places.
Mathura,
Mathura, Vrindavan and Dwarka. And life in this world is miserable. Which is that verse in the Gita which says this? Which chapter, which verse? 8.15. What is the verse? How does it begin? Mamupetya punarjanma yukhalayam shashvatam. So this world is a place of dukkha, suffering. Srila Prabhupada explains in this today's section that we should aspire. See, we may not be able to live in Dwarka, Vrindavan, Mathura, but we should aspire to live in Mathura, Dwarka, Vrindavan. So that aspiration will help us make our present reality and present accommodation, wherever we are staying, also convert. We can convert that place also into Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. Because right now we are reading Krishna is leaving from Hastinapur and is going where? Dwarka. So since we are reading that Krishna is going to go to Dwarka, we can briefly discuss about Dwarka. There are two aspects to Krishna. One is his greatness, awe-inspiring aspect. Wow. And there is also, but that is subservient, that is lower to the simplicity aspect or the sweetness aspect of Krishna. But Krishna has both aspects, greatness and sweetness, simplicity and complexity. So simplicity reigns over complexity. Simplicity is superior to complexity. Might and love, power and love, which is more powerful? Love is more powerful than power. So Vishnu, Lord Vishnu is great, powerful, and awesome. Because why Lord Vishnu is awesome and powerful, and why? Because of his features. What else? Other than the features, what else?
Yes,
This is the answer I was looking for. Millions of universes are coming from his course. If you see, Krishna is more personal. Krishna is sweet. Krishna is relishable. So Vishnu is God at work. And Krishna is God at home. Not God at temple. In other words, basically, Krishna is more intimate than it's like the more intimate version of Supreme Lord. There is no formality in Krishna. But Vishnu is how he appears in his role as the supreme controller of all living entities. This is Vishnu and Krishna. So today we are talking about which Krishna? Dwarka. Now Dwarka is different. Dwarka is somewhere in between greatness and sweetness. Krishna is Dwarka is not completely like Vishnu. Please know that. But is also not like Vrindavan Krishna. So Krishna in Dwarka embodies a portion of intimacy and sweetness which is there in his original Vrindavan form. That is there. Because Krishna in Dwarka also has two arms. And so, like the original personality of Godhead. But if you see in Dwarka, Krishna is also displaying royalty. grandeur, majestic bearing, four-armed Vishnu, all that is there. So Vishnu is worshipped with awe and reverence. Krishna is worshipped with sweetness. Vishnu is Aishwarya, Krishna is Madhurya, sweetness. But in Dwarka, there is both Aishwarya and Madhurya. That is why Dwarka is a very special place. And I've never been to Dwarka in my 52 years of life. But anyway, that is another story. So in Dwarka, there is the queens, for example. Rukmini, Satyabhama, so many queens are there. So they have rasa of sweetness with Krishna, but it is tinged with awe, reverence, because they are able to understand Krishna's opulences. It's obvious. Power of Krishna is obvious in Dwarka. Therefore, Vrindavan will always retain that special position, which will not be there anywhere else. So, but I feel that to enter Vrindavan, we should also be able to appreciate Dwarka. Because Dwarka, we can see Krishna as great as well as sweet. But in Vrindavan, we only see sweet. Only sweet, we can become sentimental. And we may become Sahajya, cheap. So we have to see Dwarka Krishna, how he comes. Like when he comes back from Hastinapur. So at the gate only we'll take his conchal. Sauchakashe dabadodaro daro Pirukramasya darasho nasho nimam Dadmaya mana karakanja sankute Yathab khande kalaham sabutsvanam. So Goswami describes when he enters Dwarka, he takes his conchal. Sauchakashe dabadodaro adara. On his lips he put Ramasya Dharasho and he blows it. And that sound reverberates everywhere. See, we blow conchal in the morning to wake up Krishna and go to Arati of Krishna. Imagine Krishna blowing conchal. What impact that would be. So then what happens? Because Krishna blows the conchal, Dadmaya Mana Kara Kanja Sampute. So that conchal is in Krishna's hand. And Adara Shona Shonima. So Krishna's lips are what color? Reddish. So the reddish lips of Krishna touch the white conchal. So Sukha Goswami gives the analogy, Yathab Jakhande Khala Amsa Utsvana. He says it is like a beautiful swan, which is white colored, dives into the red lotus flowers to take nectar. He like that, he gives an analogy. So Prabhupada goes one step further in the purport. He says, we should see, Krishna put the conchal on his lips, the conchal became red. So we should put all our activities, we should touch that with Krishna. Then it will also become red. Means here in this example, red means spiritual. Red means Krishnized. So you are doing your job. So you say Krishna. So in our South India, we do this. In Udupi, where I come from, anything you do in the end, you say Krishna Arpana Vastu, offer to Krishna. You do your job. Before you begin, you offer Krishna. After the end, Krishna, this is to you. So what is happening when you offer to Krishna? Krishna's lips have touched it. So that white conchal has been touched by red lips. So that conchal has become red. Similarly, your activities, your thoughts, your state of being has been touched by Krishna. It has become spiritualized. Srila Prabhupada says that. And then the next verse, Krishna. So what happened when Krishna blew the conchal? Tam upashritya ninadam jagat bhaya bhayavaham pratyudev praja sarva pratra darshana lalasa. So Krishna blew the conchal. So the Sutta Goswami describes. Tam upashritya ninadam. So all the residents of Dwarka heard. So when they heard that sound, they knew this is different. Then Krishna blows conchal, immediately the resident of Dwarka knew that this is Krishna's conchal. Conchal sound is neutral, right? In the temple, can you make out who is blowing conchal? But when Krishna blows conchal, everybody knows it is Krishna. Once I went to Borivali, one devotee's house. They were staying in, I think, the second floor or third floor. They had a small child, 2.5-year-old child. So I was talking to the child, the mother of the child, and the grandparents of the child. Father had gone to work. And the child was talking restless like that. And suddenly, the child suddenly started smiling, jumping, waving hands. I heard, what happened? So the grandfather said, Prabhuji, his papa is coming. But how does he know? Bahar, his father came, scooter he parked and he rang the horn. So there is a particular way his father comes, puts the scooter, blows the horn, बच्चे को समझ गया कि पापा आ गया. So those are pure devotees, they are like this child. And Krishna coming is like the father in this example. So Krishna blowing conch shell, immediately the residents of Dwarka knew. Tamapa Shutte Ninadam. And what happened when they heard Krishna's conch shell sound? Jagat Bhaya Bhayavaham. All fear, insecurity gone. That's why we should hear the conch shell blowing. Pratyudyayu Praja Sarva. All the Praja of Dwarka ran towards the gate of Dwarka. Pratyudaya Praja Sarva Bratra Darshana Lalasa, with the eagerness, with the hankering to see their beloved Krishna. This is the effect of the conch shell blown by. This Dwarka's description is amazing in the Bhagavatam. And conch shell blowing is one of the most integral parts of Dwarka pastimes. Grandeur. And conch shell blowing is very auspicious. No? In Seattle, when I went first time, 2022, I met one very dear friend of mine, his daughter. She's 15 years old. She told me a story, which I confirmed, of course, with the community there, about one particular Mataji who gets possessed by ghost every night at 12 o'clock. Something is there, some karma, some past karma. At 12 o'clock, she starts going crazy. So any party, social gathering, any New Year, any program, she sees that 11:30 she is gone and she's locked in her room. So this Prabhuji, who is my friend, he has two children. Both the children and other children of their community, they decided to do some mischief. They knew, they had heard about this story. So they played a trick. They said, we will keep this Mataji and trick her in such a way that we can see her at 12 o'clock. We want to see what she goes through. They wanted to have fun. The children are very mischievous, frankly, naughty. For them it was fun, masti wala. So they arranged something, they did with the clock, they took her watch, they did something like that and they arranged the program. And somehow they made it behind so that she thinks it is still time is there. Like that, they did some program, New Year program or something. And they all strategically did it. And this Mataji has been having this problem for more than 30 years. 35 years. Midnight, she goes crazy. She starts screaming, all that. So, and the children are excited. And at 12 o'clock, she didn't really go to 12. And 12, fire on that time, she started screaming, yelling, her eyes started bulging out. And they were waiting for this, but they got scared when they saw this. They started crying, panicking. They didn't know this would be so bad. So then they immediately want to solve the problem, right? Somebody tried to go, oh, what can we do? Somebody started chanting Hare Krishna, somebody doing clapping. They didn't know what to do. So one Mataji, it was in the hall, temple hall of the house, she took the conch shell and she started blowing the conch shell loudly. Because she had read Dwarka pastime of Krishna that when Krishna blows the conch shell, the fear is gone, insecurity is gone. So when she blew the conch shell so loudly, suddenly after the second, third blowing, then Mataji became suddenly sober, very gracious. And she's looking at everyone is staring at her. And she's like, Hare Krishna, what happened? And then she remembered, oh, what must have happened? And then she looked at the watch and they're looking at her as if she's going to get a relapse or something. She was completely normal. Half an hour, 1 hour, she's completely normal. She went home and they thought maybe fluke, something happened. Next day, then Mataji said, nothing happened at 12. After that day, nothing happened. It's now 10 years, nothing has happened. 35 years problem solved in 2 minutes. Concept. Vedic culture, the process, we many times underestimate what all rituals we have in Sanatana Dharma. Anyway, I don't know why I went to that topic, but Krishna, Dwarka, grandeur, majesty. So the point I'm saying is to understand the Dwarka, to appreciate Vrindavan of Krishna Vrindavan, which is sweetness, we also need to know the greatness of Krishna, which we can see in Dwarka. And to understand the Krishna of Dwarka, we must look at Dwarka itself also. Like Dwarka is considered popularly as one of the 4 most important holy places in the Vedic culture. In south, it is Rameshwaram, north, Badrinath. In the east, Jagannath, and in the west, Dwarka. So, Dwarka word is actually derived from the word Dwaravati, which means a gated city, city that is guarded. It is a reference to the countless gates in Dwarka because they were encircling this awe-inspiring city. There are many buildings, many gardens. In fact, the popular story is when Krishna transferred all the residents of Mathura to Dwarka overnight, when Jarasandha was attacking, keep them safe. So the residents of Dwarka went to sleep at Mathura and they woke up at Dwarka. It's like you sleep in your 2-tier AC traveling to Vrindavan and you sleep in Mumbai and wake up in Mathura. So they slept and they woke up and they said, where are we? Where is the door? Dwarka. Where is the door? So that's how Dwarka became Dwarka. Everybody is asking this question. Where is the door? Where have we come? So Srimad Bhagavatam, if you read 10th canto, 69th chapter, the first, I think 12 verses, they describe Dwarka as an amazing city. It's a it's a centralized city. It's countrified. Like everything is properly made. The municipality there is too good. The parks, the birds and bees chirping, the gardens and pleasure gardens, the lakes filled with variety of blooming flowers, and the peacocks' sweet dancing, melodious singing of the cuckoos, swans, cranes. All of them are complementing the sounds of the birds and the bees. And all of this, along with this, very, very intense, high-class urban development is described, where there were some around 9 lakh royal palaces in that city. And all of these palaces were constructed of crystal, silver, huge emeralds, and wide roads are described, very sophisticated grid, street planning. And if you see architecturally, Dwarka challenges the common notion of what human beings were capable at that time. According to, if you see general history, it is challenged because it was so elaborate, the buildings and engineering accomplishments, including the progressive waste disposal and sewage systems. This is all lost due to the vicissitudes of time. It's lost. And because Dwarka got submerged, like any other place we see. So in Archaeological Survey of India, they have a sub-branch called Underwater Archaeology Wing, UAW. So they have studied extensively Dwarka. And they have done a lot of research on the west coast of India, from the entire region, Bombay, Dwarka, that entire west coast. So, Hare Krishna. And they have excavated many ruins and many things which clearly shows that there was a prosperous city once upon a time. That is clear. And so many of the artifacts, of course, Vaishnava history, Vaishnava devotees, saints, they give additional information which UAW cannot find out. That Dwarka was distinct in its own unique way because a lot of rulers, sages from various planetary systems would visit Dwarka and they would make offerings. In fact, Krishna had himself 16,000 wives and he had a palace for each one of them. And It's a long story. You can read Bhagavatam, 10th canto for more details. But then also we need to know, why did Krishna go to Dwarka? He was happily in Vrindavan and Mathura. So there is the esoteric reason articulated by our Vaishnava saints that he was fighting demons in Mathura. Then Krishna led all of them to Dwarka to protect his clan, to protect them, especially the Yadavas. From whom? From Jarasandha, who was one of his main enemies. Because Jarasandha had attacked Mathura when Krishna was in Mathura. So, and Dwarka was a perfect place Krishna created because it was surrounded by sea, making it an impenetrable fortress. That was the plan. And Krishna also, there was basically one more esoteric reason given by Acharyas is that Krishna loved Vrindavan so much that he created Dwarka. Because if we see, after defeating Jarasandha many times, we went back to Mathura. So Jarasandha troops would have followed him there more and more, and they would have maybe attacked Vrindavan. Jiva Goswami describes also that Jarasandha would have traveled to Mathura through Vrindavan, and in the process he would have attacked and destroyed Vrindavan. So Krishna, being very attached to his Vrindavan and his friends in Vrindavan, so he said, "Let me distract Jarasandha far away." Thus, out of love for Vrindavan, that Krishna created Dwarka. And there he spent the rest of the pastimes. Like, if you see Bhagavatam 10th canto, how many chapters? 90. So, first 40 chapters are Krishna in Vrindavan. Then 41 to 50, 10 chapters are Krishna in Mathura. Then the last 40 chapters are Krishna in Dwarka. But Krishna did not live in Dwarka in all those 40 chapters. Krishna would travel also. But essentially, Krishna of Dwarka last 40, Krishna of Vrindavan first 40. And then Krishna, when he was in Dwarka, basically spent how many years in Dwarka? Anybody knows? 97 years, he said. And there, Balram married Revati. Krishna had many queens. Who were the two primary queens of Krishna? Rukmini, who's an expansion of who? From Vrindavan, whose expansion? Chandravali. And who's the second queen of Krishna? Satyabhama. She's an expansion of Srimati Radharani. So like that, this is how you can read more details in Lalit Madhav, which Srila Rupa Goswami has written. So, but today, now this is Dwarka, Krishna's Dwarka, and we are entering that, I think, next chapter. I think we are in the 27th verse. Another 7-8 verses later, we'll be entering Dwarka, actually, 10th, 11th chapter. So today, in Dwarka, Krishna is known as what? Dwarkadish, the Lord of Dwarka. We have Dwarkadish temple here, beautiful temple. So because Krishna, in Dwarka, he manifested his princely side, his royal side, and he was attended by vast retinue of servants who were all reverential towards him. So to commemorate those pastimes of Krishna, his great grandson, what is his name? Vajranath. He built a temple there. And that same place, the main temple, today is also standing. Today's temple the architecture dates back to 15th century, 16th century. And it is considered as one of the original Krishna's homes in Dwarka. That is where Vajranath had made. And there the deity, original Dwarkadish deity, is dressed with all the opulences of original Dwarkadish. Like he has conch, club, disc and lotus. So like that. So this is indicating the mood of sovereignty. Wow, wala feature Dwarka mein hai, which is appropriate for Lord Vishnu because he is like that. And also if you see in that temple, those who have gone, there are many subsidiary deities also there, like Lakshmi, Shiva, Balram, Pradyumna deity, Aniruddha, Jambavati, Satyabhama, Vishnu. The entire temple complex is a tribute to the Aishwarya Bhav of mood of worshipping Krishna in all reverence. There are few exceptions though. You will see there's an altar for Srimati Radharani also there in the same temple. And there's also opposite Dwarkadish's main altar, there is a shrine to Devaki also, Krishna's mother. So she's gazing upon her loving child across opposite like that. So these are exceptions, which shows that even in Dwarka, the standard of devotional relationships, they exist. There is rasa there in Dwarka. And I think it is managed with Pushti Margi devotees there. I think Pushti Margi devotees manage that temple. And so 20 miles from Dwarka is a very quaint coastal town. Okha. Okha is that how you pronounce? Yes. Okha. Then 20 minutes from there you go, you reach Beit Dwarka. Beit means island. So that is, they say there's an ancient remnants of the ancient Dwarkadish temple there. This is considered as the real Dwarka. Or the locals say this is the place. So when you go to Beit Dwarka, halfway you come across Gopi Talab, which is the lake where Krishna reunited with the gopis of Vrindavan. And there you find Gopi Chandan. Many devotees go there and get Gopi Chandan. So, and there also there's a temple dedicated to Rukmini Devi. So we all are. So the whole idea of discussing this is you should be inspired to go to Dwarka, take darshan of Krishna. And ISKCON also has a temple there. I think in 1996 they built it. Our Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj disciples, I think they did all the things. And they're also planning more expansion there. And they have, I think, Radha Shyam Sundar deities there in the ISKCON temple. Rukmini Dwarkadish in ISKCON temple. Oh, interesting. I thought Radha Shyam Sundar deity is there in ISKCON Dwarka. Well, मेरा information पुराना हो. I've never been there. मेरा सुना तो मेरा सही है. तो ठीक है, कंफर्म करने के लिए we'll go there. I've never been there to Dwarka, but this is a sweetness. Hearing में अलग ही आनंद आता है. But if you see for ISKCON in Dwarka, ISKCON temple का जो history है ना, to understand ISKCON temple in Dwarka, we have to go to New Dwarka. ISKCON temple first started in Los Angeles, New Dwarka. Then ISKCON temple came to Dwarka. So Los Angeles में प्रभुपाद ने पहले मंदिर बनाया. So what happened is, it's a long story. So 1966 में न्यूयॉर्क में ISKCON स्थापना हुआ. Then Prabhupada went to San Francisco, January 67. Then Santa Fe, Montreal. So slowly ISKCON started spreading. So Boston में फिर चालू हुआ. So then toward the end of 67, ISKCON was spreading faster. So then in Los Angeles, the devotees got one storefront. And they started making that as a temple. So they installed Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities. And they also got painting of Krishna, normal, small temple like any other place was going on. So that time there were two devotees of Prabhupada, the disciples of Prabhupada, Dayananda Das and Nandarani Mataji, they were managing that. And then Prabhupada was supposed to come there to encourage them. So there the devotees said, see, the devotees' mood was, this is West Coast. If you see, Los Angeles is West Coast of America. So they said it is West Coast, like West Coast of India, Dwarka. So like Prabhupada named San Francisco's New Jagannath Puri, because Jagannath deities first were installed there. New Vrindavan and Pittsburgh में. Many places Prabhupada named, like Paris के पास New Mayapur है. There is New Simachalam. There are many like that. He has given new, made it new. The devotee said there should be New Dwarka Prabhupada. Prabhupada was very sweet, He agreed, yes. So we should have Rukmini Dwarka this year. Just try to understand. It was strange. Radha Krishna deities. Krishna with flute and peacock feather, but Dwarkadish. So interesting. And so they say, anyway, long story. 3 other temples who are finally the temple where it is now. So there the temple, Rukmini Dwarkadish came and they installed. And so So I found it very interesting that this is 1969 July when Prabhupada installed Rukmini Dwarkadish. I remember understanding, thinking, oh, Rukmini Dwarkadish, but they are dressed and worshipped as Radha Krishna. So how do we understand this? So I want to spend a few minutes explaining this. How do I explain? How do I begin? See, okay, before that, Los Angeles Temple is it was ISKCON's headquarters, the Western world. Because everybody was in Los Angeles. Artists, musicians, painters, book publishing. I mean, everybody was doing their services from Los Angeles. It was actually the headquarters. It was actually the grandeur thousand. So Rukmini Dwarkadish was appropriate. And even today, the first time I went to Los Angeles this year, I've been to US few times, but first time I went to Los Angeles this year and I could see many Prabhupada disciples serving for 50 plus years. So you can feel that entire lane is filled with devotees' houses, Prabhupada disciples everywhere. So you can feel that grandeur. And only temple in the world, ISKCON, I think, where deities are dressed 3 times in a day. Every temple, deities are dressed once or twice. Subah, dopaihar ko, fir raat. Real grandeur is there. So what happened? And they also inaugurated Govinda's in 1982. That was considered as the best restaurant in America. So those kind of things, best Indian restaurant like that. So basically, there एक है उसमें कुछ तो grandeur का Rukmini Dwarkadish. New Dwarka appears to be an appropriate name and place, but there is smaller deities also, Radha Krishna deities. They are called as Rukmini Dwarkanath. Like we have Radha Gopinath and Radha Gopijanavalda. We have Rukmini Dwarkadish and Rukmini Dwarkanath. So Prabhupada was giving specific names to deities. So when devotee suggested you make it Rukmini Dwarkadish and New Dwarka, Prabhupada, like a simple child, he agreed. But if you see, you have to understand one thing, there's a difference. Because you have to understand again, Krishna in Dwarka, see, Krishna in Vrindavan plays his flute to entice the gopis. Now, in Dwarka, Krishna never plays flute. So, why is Krishna deity in Los Angeles? Is Dwarkadish holding a flute when the person next to him is Rukmini? So, it doesn't make it's actually contradicting scripture and also tattva, the truth. So what happens is in Dwarka, Krishna is like a kshatriya in that role, like a kingly role, and he's not in a threefold bending form, natkat, natvar, So it is incompatible because there is a presence of Rukmini there and Dwarkadish. So Prabhupada did not see a big issue. But if you see, Prabhupada has also very clearly said that we cannot mix rasas. Many places, Nectar of Devotional says we cannot mix rasas. Like you cannot have Rukmini Ramana. Radha Raman ho sakta hai. So इस नारायण के जगह पे कृष्ण को नहीं डाल सकते. वो रसा अलग है. So advanced devotees, but Prabhupada is an advanced devotee. So he knew how to encourage his disciples and devotees to serve. Because Radharani and gopis are not attracted to Dwarkadish Krishna. They are attracted to Vrindavan Krishna. That's why when they met Krishna in royal robes, they told him, come back to Vrindavan. They couldn't. But what I want to say is there is something deeper here. If it was not appropriate, Prabhupada would have not hesitated to speak about it. If you see, there are many letters I found that Prabhupada is normally talking about Dwarkadish, Rukmini Dwarkadish. So then I wanted more clarification. So I got a nice conversation of Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is saying that ISKCON preaching happened in the West because in Vrindavan, Prabhupada got order. Of course, Guru Maharaj ordered him, and in Vrindavan he was serving at Radha Damodar temple, and then he was empowered by Vrindavan, Mayapur. Then he went to the West, preached. ISKCON started spreading. Everything was going on nicely. But we see today, ISKCON also got established in India. And ISKCON in India started because of ISKCON in Los Angeles, New York. Because one day when Prabhupada did not want to leave America. Everything teaching was going on nicely. And in that conversation with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he says that one day I was praying at Rukmini Dwarkadish temple at Los Angeles. And Rukmini Dwarkadish told me, go to India. Go and preach there. So Prabhupada says, I'll read that as it is. Prabhupada telling Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So you don't have intent. Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, oh, you don't have intention to go to India. So do you regret coming back to India? Prabhupada says, no, it is very good. My plan was like that. But Rukmini Dwarkadish's plan was different. When I was coming back, I was speaking to Dwarkadish in Los Angeles. I do not know. I came here to America to preach. Why are you driving me away? While leaving Los Angeles, I was not happy because he was attached to Rukmini Dwarkadish. Like when he was leaving Vrindavan, he was remembering Vrindavan. So he was so attached to Rukmini Dwarkadish. So then Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, oh, Prabhupada, is it? Prabhupada says, yes. So this is the plan of the Lord. Tamal Krishna Maharaj is saying, yes, Prabhupada, pretty nice plan. So Prabhupada says, yes. Rukmini Dwarkadish wanted. Oh, you left Vrindavan? Now go back to Vrindavan. I will give you a better place in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada started laughing. Rukmini Dwarkadish told me, you are retired in Vrindavan, but I tell you to leave. You come back to Vrindavan. I will give you a better place. So he has given me Krishna Balram Mandir, which is 100 times better than any place in the world. But then Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So this is a long conversation. So why I'm sharing all of this is how deities are personal. Pure deities have a relationship. So according to Rasa, it may not make sense. How can Rukmini Dwarkadish have flute? But Prabhupada saw no distinction between Radha Krishna and Rukmini Dwarkadish. Now the question is, okay, Prabhupada can see like that. What about ordinary devotees like all of us? Should we imitate a pure devotee? Because he was a fully enlightened Vaishnava. He had the highest possible realization. So he was able to see Krishna everywhere. So in Rukmini Dwarkadish, he could see Radha Krishna. Right? Now, what we have to understand is Prabhupada is also teaching us, his followers, what to do. See, we are not neglecting the nuanced forms of rasa. Rasa एक science है अपने आप में. द्वारकाधीश को द्वारकाधीश जैसा वो करना चाहिए. But Prabhupada wanted his followers to understand that Vrindavan Krishna is present everywhere. I'll repeat. Prabhupada wanted us to understand Vrindavan Krishna is present everywhere, and not the least in Vishnu, in Dwarkadish, which is Krishna only. There also Vrindavan Krishna is present. In fact, there is one morning walk of Srila Prabhupada in Paris. Hari Vilas Maharaj narrates this. They are going on a morning walk, they are chanting, and cars are running around. Lot of activities is happening. And Srila Prabhupada suddenly stops in the morning walk. Where is this morning walk happening? Paris. Prabhupada stops. This is what Prabhupada says. This is Vrindavan. And devotees are like shocked. Come Paris, man. Prabhupada is saying, this is Vrindavan. Yeah, we have been in Vrindavan and thinking of Paris. That is our situation. So, Prabhupada is teaching us that even in Los Angeles, even with Rukmini Dwarkadish, you can see Radha Krishna. So basically, Prabhupada also taught a very, very important point I want to share now. When we are doing deity worship, some of you are doing deity worship. See, those who are immature, on the devotional path, we are supposed to worship all deities with awe and reverence. Even Radha Krishna deities, we don't worship them in the Vrindavan mood. In our temple, we can't say we will worship like Vrindavan, Radhe Radhe mood. कभी भी मंदिर खोलो, कभी भी कुछ भी करो. Spontaneous, no spontaneity. Time पे शंख बजता है, देखा? Punctuality. Our temple, strict punctuality है deities का. It's system, discipline, Dwarka mood. We are worshipping Radha Gopinath. This temple is Vrindavan. Monkeys are there in the altar. It's all Vrindavan mood, but we are worshipping with Dwarka mood. So, those who are immature now, not just when worshipping Rukmini Dwarkadish, even when you are worshipping Radha Krishna directly, we have to worship them with awe and reverence. Because we are not yet Brajvasis. We are not there as yet. So, Prabhupada so maturely, he has given us Radha Krishna worship in the mood of Dwarka, awe and reverence. And he's also given us Dwarkadish in the Radha Krishna form, but worship same ISKCON standard everywhere. So there's one connotation of Prabhupada I got, very nice. So you're asking about dressing the deities in opulent fashion? Because the devotee asked. Very interesting. We are worshipping our Radha Krishna deities. Why are we dressing them opulently? Why not dress them as simple covered boy and girl? Prabhupada answer is very intelligent question. Is the letter Prabhupada says. Very intelligent question. The answer is, according to regulative principles, we cannot worship Radha Krishna now. We cannot worship. Because Radha Krishna worship is meant for those who have developed love of Krishna. Pure love. Those of Krishna prem, they can worship Radha Krishna. Shama Gauri Ange Divo Chandanera Gandha Chamara Dulabo Kabe Eri Mukha Chandra. Beautiful bhajans explain how Radha Krishna worship. Somebody is putting chandan on their face, somebody is putting chamar, somebody is singing songs. It's a very sweet, spontaneous. But Prabhupada, we are in the training period. So we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. Not just here Lakshmi Narayan, but even in the main altar, we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So Prabhupada says we worship Radha Krishna because Lakshmi Narayan is also there. But actually we are in deity ceremonies, we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So Narayan is there when we are worshipping Krishna. So we are actually not worshipping Radha Krishna, we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So then you may say, okay, then we may ask a question, then why we should worship Radha Krishna in their Lakshmi Narayan feature? See, we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, right? Then why Radha Krishna form? Yes. What do you think? Prabhupada wanted us to give us the highest. He wanted us to give us love of Radha Krishna.
And there's like intimacy.
Intimacy is also there, but yeah, Krishna form, their intimacy is there, sweetness is there, you can offer heartfelt prayers, you can sing, you can dance. And also Srila Prabhupada wanted to give us the highest, Radha Krishna. But he wanted to prevent us from becoming Sahajiyas, cheap. This is the amazing maturity of Prabhupada. He wanted to give us the highest, but didn't want us to become cheap. So he gave us the highest, Radha Krishna, but he also gave us Lakshmi Narayan, Rukmini Dwarkadish, that mood, so that we don't become cheap. So Prabhupada gives an example. It is a king who is engaged in administering justice. Actually, the business belongs to the Justice Department. But what is the Justice Department? Justice Department is all of king's energy. And the king also has the power to execute this function. So, just like Justice Department and king are same and different. Similarly, Lakshmi Narayan and Radha Krishna are same but different. It is Radha Krishna So Radha Krishna, Prabhupada very clearly says, cannot be approached by you and me. We cannot approach Radha Krishna because it's the highest. It's PhD level bhakti. Therefore, temple worship has to be done according to regulative principles, niyam, systems. So that worship is generally done to Lakshmi Narayan. So the form may be Radha Krishna Vigraha, but the worship of a neophyte devotee is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayan worship. This Prabhupada writes this in 4th canto, 2nd chapter, purport. So, but Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal. He loves his devotees, right? He enjoys taking the supporting role. He loves to, and Prabhupada wanted, Krishna wanted to reciprocate to the devotees in Los Angeles. He wanted to reciprocate with Prabhupada. So like that. So therefore, there are, Prabhupada also says, if you call Lord, when you're saying Hare Krishna, that Mahamantra, when you're saying Rama, Prabhupada says, if you call Lord Rama, when you're saying Hare Ram, then it is right. And if you are saying Hare Rama, when you are saying Rama, if you are saying Balram, you are remembering Balramji, Prabhupada says that is also all right. So that means Prabhupada was broad, mature, because wherever Krishna goes, he brings Vrindavan with him. If you read, I don't know how many of you have read Brother Bhagavatamrita. In Dwarka, when Monday we'll have a class on that. The entire journey of Narad Muni searching for the pure devotee, finally he comes to Uddhava. And in Dwarka, there's this pastime how Vishwakarma has created new Vrindavan, Nava Vrindavan in Dwarka, so that Krishna becomes peaceful. Because Krishna in Dwarka is remembering Brajvasis. So he creates exactly a replica of Vrindavan in Dwarka. So that's what Prabhupada did. He created Vrindavan in Los Angeles. This is Prabhupada's genius. So, because same way in ISKCON, just like Vishwakarma created Vrindavan in Dwarka, Prabhupada created Vrindavan in Los Angeles. And also, it's Rukmini Dwarkadish, but there has to be Gaudiya touch. Our tradition has to be there. That's why it is Radha Krishna worship also. So like this is the way to reconcile everything. And for those of you who are confused, if you are ever confused, please remember, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also very clearly says that Nanda Maharaj's palace in Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj's house is not simple Jhopadpatti. The description is given that his place is made of glistening sapphires, white coral pillars, gold, crystal windows. Even Baldev Vidyabhushan has given detailed description. So the point I'm saying is, opulences can be found in Vrindavan, simple village of Vrindavan also, and simplicity of Vrindavan can be found in Dwarka. That is the point. All depends on Krishna's desire and the mood of reciprocating devotees. We are all very safe. We are in the best spiritual organization, best spiritual path, where very maturely, tenderly, Prabhupada has given us the highest, packaged in a way that we don't become cheapsters. And at the same time, we learn to love Krishna. So there is simplicity, there is opulence. So this is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada's contribution. And for me, all the realizations or whatever I'm doing is after I visited New Dwarka. Because I was traveling like crazy this year. And I was totally exhausted when I went to Los Angeles. But emotionally, I became refreshed. Because what I saw completely blew my mind away. Because I had never seen such beautiful deities, Rukmini Dwarkadish, and it surcharged me with spiritual energy. I felt like that. I felt the Lord was saying that you didn't come to me in Gujarat. Let me arrange a meeting in California with palm trees and parking issues involved. So the main reason why I had the uplifting experience was because of the Vrindavan mood in ISKCON Los Angeles. Because what I saw there just blew my mind away. And I entered, first person I saw was Swavas Prabhu. He's the temple president of ISKCON Los Angeles. He's been the temple president for, donkey's years. Decades. Gets up at 2:30 in the morning, till night 9 o'clock is doing seva. His wife also, Tadita Mataji, both of them are full morning to night serving in the temple for so many tickets. And childlike smile, blissful, you'll sit in my class, you'll participate in Guru Puja. It's unbelievable. Vrindavan, simplicity, love. He's never missed a Mangalarti in the last so many 40 years. Dynamic manager, corporate CEO type, he has to manage a big community there, but he is the heart of a coward boy. That's why I felt that I was in Vrindavan, although I was in New Dwarka. Because when he saw me, he's a temple president for 50 plus years, Prabhupada disciple, but the way he welcomed me, the loving father treating a child, as if his son has come back. I was like, why is he giving me so much importance, love? He's catching my hand, taking me on. Generally, CEOs, he's like a temple president, big thing, in ISKCON, temple presidents is like, so his affection totally floored me. And then, but Sahas Prabhu and his wife, many devotees come and go, but they have been there. Why you ask him, why you have been here all the time? Prabhu, I feel grateful to Prabhupada. That's it, simple. No much complicated philosophy. See, the world, we are addicted to breaking news, stimulation, Netflix. You see such devotees who are simply going on. And there's one Mataji I met, Jagadambika Mataji, and her husband Mayapur Shashi Prabhu. This Prabhuji is managing the finance of the temple for the last 50 years. His wife, Jagadambika Mataji, both of them, they are so fixed in service, don't have any limelight. You know what Mataji does? She manages Prabhupada's quarters. Prabhupada's house in Los Angeles is very famous. That is where many famous lectures are given. And many conversations, many videos are there on YouTube, Prabhupada. She's preserved everything of Prabhupada there. It's such, and she took me on that tour, the way she was talking, I was like, how can somebody be so attached to Srila Prabhupada? She has preserved even the dried flowers that Srila Prabhupada once smelled 50 years ago. उसको preserve करके रखा है 50 years से. उसको अभी dry करके, सुखा के. It's like spiritual archaeology, like it doesn't gather dust though, but it's gathering devotion, not dust. But it's like unbelievable. I've not seen anybody do such kind of dedication. And she's maintained same carpets, shawl, glasses that Prabhupada used, bag, hundreds of items. She says, I'm maintaining this for future generations. They should know. She's an elderly lady, my God. Recurring back pain. Back pain. I became emotional actually seeing her. And her husband also, they are like, as if they are very ordinary, as if they are nothing. And she was narrating Prabhupada pastime. I was remembering that Ghanshyam Das Babaji Maharaj quotes in Journey Home. I was seeing a female version of that personality, very attached to Krishna, Prabhupada. So anyway, the devotees there, they rise early, work hard, and they love devotees, they attend all classes. But my most emotional moment happened when I saw Bhakta Avatar Prabhu there. And I first saw him in 2010, 15 years ago in Vrindavan. And I will tell you something about him, and then I'll end the class. When I saw him in Vrindavan in year 2010, I was shocked because I was wondering how can a human being dance for so long. He was in his mid-70s at that time, and he was dancing for 10 hours non-stop. And I was supposed to go to different holy places as part of the yatra. I didn't go. I told them, I'm not coming. I'll give a lecture in the evening. I was sitting in the temple hall, just looking at him. I can't dance so much, but I felt somebody is dancing. So, like somebody told me, I love yoga. I can watch it for hours. Similarly, I love dancing. I can watch others devotees dance. I was like, how can he dance? Man. So, non-stop, Krishna Balram Mandir was dancing. So, next day again, he's like dancing 24 hours. Anyway, anytime there is Kartal beat, he starts jumping. This is my memory. like a child, he loses himself in Kirtan. And so my main attraction that 2010 when I went to Vrindavan, not the holy temples and places, it was Bhakta Avatar Prabhu's dance. So what happened, I would visit him every year to Vrindavan, I would see him. I would see him dance and I would feel happy. One of the times, I don't remember which year, I asked him for blessings. He looked at me, he embraced me. It was deep meditation, but he stopped dancing. He held my hand and he asked my name. And he looked at me, oh. And then he continued dancing. So that encounter was, I think, less than 3 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. But it was in my heart because I had met such a spiritually surcharged, devotee, elderly person. And I remember I walked away from Vrindavan very dazed. Like as if somebody get a hug from a tornado of bliss. पूरा ऐसा ecstasy वाला आदमी से को embrace मिला. And then when I went next year, I couldn't see him. He disappeared. I was like, then I asked a few people. They said, I don't know. We don't know who he is. अपने dance करते रहते हैं. And some people knew him. They said, we don't know where he has gone. And I went every year. Now I would remember him, but I didn't know where he was. And then now suddenly in 2025, when I come to Rukmini Dwarka temple, in the afternoon time I reach there, he's alone there, and he's dancing. Kirtan, somebody is singing Kirtan. Whenever there is Kirtan, he dances. I'm like, arey, same person. Krishna Balram Mandir, I had Vrindavan, I was going to see him. I see Vrindavan mein jo probably dance kar raha, I see him in Rukmini Dwarka. Then Prabhupada ka pura explanation of Rukmini Dwarka. Everything became, so all the dots got connected for me. Because initial days I used to think, क्या है रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश के साथ वृंदावन तो अपना राधा कृष्ण ये सब जो था ना हमारा जो stupid technical कीड़ा जो है हमारा intelligence का वजह से कीड़ा जो रहता है, all the blocks got removed because there was वृंदावन में जो नाचने वाले प्रभु जी इधर हैं, तो वृंदावन है. I rushed to him, spontaneously embraced him, and he didn't protest. Now he must be about 80s now, and oh, Vraja Bihari. When he said my name, I got even more shocked. I said, you remember me? Then he said something which I don't want to share. But I was like, we remember our own phone number we may forget. यो कैसे याद है इनको यार? इतना मेरा नाम इतना साल के बाद. Anyway, and he was dancing, same childlike joy, total like. The only problem now is his left knee is paining a lot. So his hand is always on his left knee. He's wincing because of the age-induced pain. But he's dancing, ending Hare Krishna. In the next day was my Bhagavatam class. He's sitting in the class, constantly looking at the deities and crying. वृंदावन में कैसे भक्त लोग रोते हैं भगवान को देख के, ऐसा है रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश को. And he respects even the newest devotee who comes to the temple. Youngest, newest, 10 साल का, 12 साल का सबको दंडवत करेंगे. I'm servant. सबको बोल देंगे I'm your servant. Servant mood में रहता है. His health challenges, he's in his 80s. But he's performing the Yuga Dharma, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. And he was like looking at the deities like a child gazing at the parents, सब प्यार से देख रहे हैं. So I think it's one of the rarest of rare temples I found where such devotion and so Bhakta Avatar Prabhu is like the gatekeeper, the timekeeper of the temple. He's like the gatekeeper, timekeeper. Some people walk into temple to take darshan, but Bhakta Avatar Prabhu or devotees, Bhakta Avatar Prabhu is a devotee who becomes a darshan. So what I realized when I saw him that Bhakti, जो Prabhupada ने बोला ना, Bhakti has no time, age limit, no barrier, no limitation. So body may break, but Bhakti has no breaks. So I wrote a phrase for him: 12 hours of dance, 50 years of service, and 1 lifetime of mercy. That is Bhakta Avatar Prabhu. If I have to describe him, if somebody tells me, Prabhuji, हमारे पास time नहीं है सब सुनने का, आप एक लाइन में बोलो कौन है Bhakta Avatar, तो एक लाइन ये होगा: 12 hours of dance, 50 years of service, and 1 lifetime of grace. So this is basically, there's so much I can speak, but I'm stopping here. I spoken 31 pages out of 55 pages I wrote for today's class. It's there on my computer. So much So what I realized when I went to Los Angeles, because Dwarka is we are talking about Dwarka, that Maharaj says the greatness of a person is not measured by how many people serve him, but how many people he serves. So the devotees there are always serving. So that's why they are great. And I was 10,000 miles away from Dwarka, actually. But I felt sheltered there. I actually felt sheltered. Although it was a crazy travel, so many flights, so many Americans dealing with that energy, airport energy, all that crazy. So some traveled to Dwarka for Yatra, but I took a Delta flight to New Dwarka and I found Vaikuntha, Dwarka, Vrindavan hiding in Los Angeles traffic. So, because right there, I remember I was taken to the place where Oscar awards are given, that hall. So, not because I wanted to go there, my devotee friend Gaurang Prem Prabhu, we were waiting for his daughter, she's studying in a medical school. So, he said, probably time after उधर देख के आते हैं. मेरे को कोई interest नहीं था. And I can't believe, before coming to ISKCON, I was a great fan of Hollywood movies. Now I remember some of the movies, directors, names. So, for me, that was like the dham. जहाँ पे ऑस्कर अवार्ड दिया जाता है वो जो ऑडिटोरियम है ना जहाँ पे पूरा हॉलीवुड का हेडक्वार्टर्स and I'm absolutely he was so interested in showing me the places. In fact, probably everybody comes first time they're so excited. I feel even I would have been very excited, but somehow मेरा दिल ही नहीं लग रहा है इधर यार. बस तेरी बेटी के लिए वेट कर रहे हैं इसलिए मैं जा रहा हूँ तेरे साथ. He is my old friend, so I couldn't tell him no. Curiosity भी नहीं था. Honestly, I'm saying, मैं माला कर रहा था, देख रहा था. People were going crazy. वो जो energy, sound, music, and I'm like, चलो कितना दे रहे हो. I'm not saying it's because of me or my devotional service. I'm just saying the power of the temple there. I saw surcharge किया कि मेरे को I didn't have any interest in the Hollywood there. So it was 24 hours I spent in Los Angeles, not more than 24 hours. But it was a glimpse into eternity. I felt it's permanently. Also, I got a desire to go to Dwarka now after that. Till now, I was not going because of सेवा नहीं है. कोई तो लेके जाना चाहिए. हमारा कैसा रहता है कोई सेवा रहता तो जाते हैं हम लोग. So anyway, I'll stop here. It's 8:30. But what I wanted to say was the essence of today's purport was Prabhupada is saying. I'll come back to the purport statement. We should stay in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka. Coming back to the statement of Prabhupada's purport by saying that staying in an ISKCON temple where such nice devotees are there, it is Vrindavan. Dwarka, that's the experience I got. I wanted to share my America experience in one session today. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarka Deesh Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Shara Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. Once one very senior Prabhupada disciple came. He's been in Radha-Kund for many decades. He's in always Vrindavan mood. So he is sitting in front of Radha Gopinath. He was during those days, we used to not sing. Now we sing in the curtain process in the morning. We sing Govinda, Govinda, Gopala. We sing that. Bhaja Govinda, Govinda. During those days, we used to only say Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. We used to say that. And the curtain used to close. And he went, what are you doing this? This is not right. We should say Radhe. He was like in that mood. And we should wave our hands. Pura Vrindavan wala mood mein tha. Oh Prabhuji. So just to please him, we did that. The moment he left from here, we can continue with our traditional Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Narayan mood because we didn't want to artificially be there where we are not. But Maharaj ने फिर दोनों को harmonize करके बोला, okay, we will sing Govinda, Govinda, Gopala. Govinda, Gopala. Giridhari Gopinath Nanda Dulaya. And then the curtain is closing. And Maharaj said, we should be singing that in hankering mode. Oh Krishna, the curtain is closing now. And we are going to wait for 2 hours for the curtain. So that should be a feeling of separation and hankering. So Maharaj ने दोनों को harmonize किया. Dwarka and Vrindavan mood. Beautifully harmonized it. And one Brajvasi I brought to Temple Hall to take darshan. He was staying in one of the guest rooms that time. I was in guest reception department. Elderly Babaji, very elderly, 80 plus. I came to temple, I took him to the temple hall, he started crying. See Radha Gopinath. And then he came very close. Just trying to see the Kadamba. In his Brajavasi accent, he was saying, तो ब्रज में आ गए, तो so happy. ऐसे पर एक अच्छा नहीं किया. अपने लाला को क्या ऐसे काना को लाली से बहुत दूर रखा है. They're so close. तारा गोपीनाथ are so close to each other. इसे बहुत दूर रखा है. मैं बोला यार कितना और पाते. तो उसका रसा है वो. Then he came and he saw the Kadamba tree. Then he said, Tamal tree, Tamal tree saw. He told Maharaj, अरे ये तो वृंदावन का तमाल ट्री नहीं है, ये तो ब्रज का नहीं लेके आया. Maharaj said, no, we didn't get from, we got from Mayapur because हमको लगा, I was translating. Maharaj said, we thought, how can we pick up a tamal tree from Vrindavan? वहां से नहीं लेना चाहिए हमको, ऑफेंस हो जाएगा. तो हम मायापुर से लेके आए the tamal tree plant. He started crying again. He said, नहीं, अरे बाबा, he is telling our Guru Maharaj, अरे बाबा नहीं, अरे ये तो what Maharaj said and I translated, we thought we should not take it from Vrindavan, that's why we bought it from Mayapur and we planted the tree in Mumbai. Immediately, अरे बाबा, अरे मुंबई थोड़ी है, ये तो ब्रज है. He said like that with such intensity and conviction. So I thought, wow. And then I realized, oh yeah, our temple president also is washing plates, standing in shoe stall, doing minion seva, meeting brahmacharis to the junior most, temple out cleaning every Sunday. I mean, temple president, Baba, is such a big man. And then I saw, okay, then I could get a feel, yes, Maharaj has created Vrindavan mood in opulent Dwarka type worship. So that's what Prabhupada's mood is. Also, I'll end this one last thing. Prabhupada wanted to build a temple in America, in New York in 1966. Desperate, to writing letters again and again to that very famous Singhania, Padampat Singhania. Back and forth. He's saying, I'll sponsor everything, but the temple has to be architecture India style, Indian temple style. Prabhupada is saying, नहीं, हमको कुछ भी मिल जाएगा, घर, room हम लोग ले लेते हैं, and we'll start the temple. He said, नहीं, I will give money, people I will send from India only if you make a proper, opulent Indian temple. If अभी वो जगह सब कहाँ मिलेगा? Let's start something. So back and forth letters were going, and he was not agreeing. That Padampat Singh was not agreeing. You will find the letters in Lilambat. You know what the final letter Prabhupada wrote? Such a sweet letter. Prabhupada, such a heart-touching letter. You get tears in that. Prabhupada says, oh, your mood is to worship Krishna royally like Dwarka. My desire is to start the worship right away like Vrindavan. So you are a Dwarka wala. I am a Vrindavan wala. Let Dwarka wala and Vrindavan walas meet together and let us start worship of Krishna. Such a beautiful letter. Prabhupada writes. Very heart-touching letter. And then again, there are some legal issues because government was, that time the different government regulations were there, so that couldn't happen. That's another story. But I'm saying Prabhupada's mood of Vrindavan, even in the Dwarka ambience, Prabhupada created Vrindavan. So ISKCON temples are Vrindavan. So we are so lucky, we are Vrindavan, but we are saved from becoming Sahajya, cheap. Because when I was a college student, I was a Hindutva man, but I was apologetic for being a Hindu. One Bihar ka IPS chief police commissioner one day this man walks into his police commissioner's office in sari, dressed with, then he says, I'm Radhe, I'm Radhika, I'm Radharani. It was such a scandal, and I had to explain to my Muslim friends, Christian friends, it was all in the news. So India is a land of Sahajya and Mayavad. Prabhupada is a genius. How he presented Radhashtami is coming. He has presented as Vrindavan, Barsana, but he has protected us. So our gratitude can never we can never sufficiently express gratitude to what Srila Prabhupada has given us. Sorry, I will go on and on and on. I wanted to finish long back. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Dwarka Bhagwan ki jai, Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.